Hello dear friends, Fisher here. Today we continue with our beautiful stories, The Power of the Spirit by ALFRED, HOSP, also known as Freddie in the book. So today Bruno is giving a talk regarding the founding of associations, and that helped the friends to get together to do Einstellen, basically absorbing the God divine energy and then to work together for the common good of humanity. And Bruno began his words with warning. And he said, due to the different laws in the two countries, as far as earthly matters are concerned, two organizations are necessary. But from a spiritual point of view, there should and can always only be one union. For there only exists one single work of God, which we all should and must serve for the good of us. In order to be able to put this into practice without disturbance, it is an urgent requirement that the executives of the two associations work together as closely as possible. It should also be your aim that the leading friends should be members of both associations. However, it will also be necessary later on to establish a corresponding or overreaching umbrella organization to which all the national associations should be subject. Who will eventually take over the leadership of this umbrella organization, Germany or Austria, has not yet been firmly decided. This will only become clear in the future. At this point, I would especially like to emphasize today that the founding of the said associations is something final, and that they may not be dissolved again or replaced with something else. I now devote myself to the care of this union with all that I possess. I have every faith in the friends in charge, and please do not disillusion me, for then the harm will be yours. So basically, Bruno began his talk about a warning, and then his warning is general. It's like every organizations on earth, and then who aim to be good, and then at the end of the day, because the human beings' perception of difficulties, differences, and in between each other. So basically, like black and whites and Chinese, Indian, New Zealander, or Aboriginal. So we basically define people with their color, origin, culture, religion, and etc. etc. And that's what's happened. So, as an old saying, united we stand and divided we fall. It's always like this. As what Bruno said, the physical organizations can be one in Germany, or the other one in Australia, or whatever, all over the world. But from a spiritual point of view, there only be one union. Is everybody work together for the common good of humanity. And then there only exists one single work of God. So, as what Bruno came to this world, dear friends, to guide human beings back to God, the divine path of God, as he built a bridge between God and our common us. And lots of work and he done in the spiritual sphere, that's with his helpers, all the helpers from God, and often we cannot see because with our physical eyes. So much we have seen the work he done with the healings of millions of people all around the world through him by the God divine healing energy. And then there's so much more work and going on and happen and still happening in the spiritual world, the non-physical reality that we do not see and that we do not know. So what we know is here, especially for the last couple of years, or maybe 3. There's more natural disasters. We have so much things going on in our life, and there's so much people in their fear and distress and desperation. All this emotion come out. It's very negative energy around us at this time, like the darkness before the dawn. So every human beings at this point, and we should unite with other fellow human beings, our neighbors. Be kind to our neighbors, not only limited to what we say, but what we do, dear friends. Yes, we're all different in looking, and then we're all different in our thinking, and then but we can set aside whatever the things we are different to each other, and then strive for the common good. The good and the evil is always the same for every single human being, regardless what their colors, races, regardless what their cultural background, their economic situation. The good and bad are alike. They're all the same. And then the good and bad, and they don't distinguish any human beings. It's the same. We have the cause, effect, the karmic law. That's the same to everybody. We have the gravity, Earth spinning around the sun. It's all the same to everybody. So in this difficult time, dear friends, so it's a time we all work together as much as we can. So you don't have to force yourself to be good. You don't have to force yourself to be kind to anybody else if you don't feel like to. But at least do your best to strive on this path. And then the humanity, our human beings, we have been divided so much since the ancient time, divided by so many things, and then of course divide and conquer. So that's the strategies the devil always use. The divide between the white and black, and let them fight purely just because of color. Divide nations among nations, so within the nations, and then we're fighting each other. At the end of the day, do we consider what we're here for on this earth? What we're here for, dear friends? What's the meaning, purpose of life? But to strive on God's divine path. And then it doesn't matter whether Bruno was born in Germany or Jesus was born in Israel, in the old time Israel, and then the Buddha was born in India or Nepal, like Alexander. We have Greece and Macedonia fighting over the origin of Alexander, who should represent. Does it really matter, dear friends? Does it really matter to our life that the good, the so-called good in the past, and then we have to possess, or we focus on today, and then focus on making peace with our neighbors? And then, of course, the most important things, we always have to make peace with ourselves. If we are not peaceful, we cannot give peace to our surroundings, to our families, friends. So it's very important. And then today especially, we are in the great division, dear friends, and then people are divided so much these days, so much, even more. It's time we should go and shine. It's a time for especially the one we claim we are the people of God, and it's time for us to shine. There's no use for the light. There's no use for the candle in the daylight, but there's a big use for the candle in the darkness. So let's be the candle as much as we can, and then even a little bit light, and then we bring forth, and then we'll shine upon the people around us. So it's time we be the salt for this world, add some good flavor to humanity, to the earth, to the animals around us. It's time to shine, dear friends. I wish you have a good day and God bless.